Suyoung at the Arirang News Centre. We're breaking into our regular programming to give you a live briefing from the South Korean health authorities on the COVID-19 outbreak in the nation. In just a few moments, we'll cut into the briefing at the Daejeon government complex with simultaneous interpretation in English. So we're just about to do that now. We're going to go into the briefing room where Kim Gang-nip, overall coordinator of the Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasure Headquarters, will be sharing the latest figures and updates with us on the COVID-19 situation in Korea. So we're just about to do that now, and the podium is right there in the middle of the room, and in just a few moments, the overall coordinator of the Central Disaster and Safety Countermeasures Headquarters, Kim Gang-nip, there you go, he's now taken to the podium, and looks like it's just going to be a few moments until they start the briefing.
We have sign language translation available as well. First of all, here is Mr. Kim Gang-nip on the briefing on the coronavirus outbreak. Today marks the 130th anniversary of the World Labor Day, and before we begin our regular briefing, I would like to mention a few words on the fire that took place in Icheon, and I would like to send my deepest condolences to the deceased and the members of the bereaved families. I would also like to thank all of the firefighters and the first responders who are fighting on the front lines as well. As of today midnight, we have 9 new cases, and those undergoing treatment stand at 1,454. The total death toll stands at 248, with 1 more fatality as of yesterday. I extend my deepest condolences to the deceased. And out of the 9 cases, 1 have been reported domestically, and a total of 8 have been imported cases. Among them, 4 have been reported at the airport quarantine, while 4 have been reported on a community level. This morning, KCC held a meeting presided over by Prime Minister Chung Se-kyun, and we discussed our measures put forth by the 17 municipalities and our goals to give out the payouts for the emergency relief fund as soon as possible. And we also touched upon issues of reopening the culture facilities, and also touched upon the issue of future exports plans. And Chung Se-kyun Prime Minister said that during the holiday week, many of the tourists are visiting the tourist destinations, and he asked the members of the public to practice social distancing by remembering the medical workers who are fighting on the front lines. And he also mentioned that we will be giving out our emergency relief fund starting from this month, and he also instructed related ministries to have this money given out to the vulnerable class, especially as soon as possible. He also touched upon issues of measures, including those aimed at reviving the economy. And moreover, he also talked upon the issue of opening our culture public indoor facilities, including museums, so that they can be announced to the public as soon as possible. And he also asked the ministries to have the online booking so that there would be no large concentration of users. And today we are during the first day of May, and also yesterday was the start of the holiday week. During the during the few days, we have seen our on-day confirmed cases about 10, and we believe that we are having a stabilizing situation here in the country. However, this was the achievement that was put forth by our public during the past 2 weeks. During the holiday week, we need to practice the social distancing campaign, and the results of our measures will be in limelight after 2 weeks. That is why we cannot let our guards down as of now, and we need to remember that being complacent could lead to a large cluster infections, and we need to all exert our full efforts so that our previous efforts will not be put in vain.
오늘 회의에서 논의되었던
In the morning,
무자격
in the morning
체류자와
meeting
노숙인,
today, we
독방 주민
discussed
등
our
방역
measures
취약
to
집단 관리
discuss
방안에 대하여
the blind
말씀드리겠습니다.
spots of the quarantine measures, including
코로나19를
those who are
안정적으로
living by
관리하고
themselves.
집단
And
감염
in order
발생
to have a more
가능성을
stable
조기에
control over the
차단하기
coronavirus and to
방역
curb the
사각지대에
disease
대한
spread at an
관리가
early
중요합니다.
pace, we need to
해외
tackle
사례
our
등을
blind
통해서
spots
알려진
of
방역
quarantine.
사각지대인
And we have
무자격
seen
체류자,
that
노숙인과
non-documented
독방 주민 등에
workers,
대하여
especially from
포용적
foreign
방역
countries,
대책이
and
필요한
the
시점입니다.
homeless people
우선
are the
약
blind
39만
spots
명으로
of the
추정되는 비자기관이
quarantine
완료되어
measures.
체류
And
자격이
about
없는 외국인에
390 people,
16개
90,000
언어로
people are currently
코로나19
living here in
진료와
Korea
치료
as
체계를 안내하여
non-documented workers,
무료로
and we need to
진단과
provide
치료를 받을 수
them
있도록
with
할 것이며
6
보건소
languages
선별
of
진료소에서
guidelines, and we need to
비대면
also
통역
have
서비스를
them
제공합니다.
to receive
법무부에서는
quarantine the
단속을
screening measures
일정 기간
as well, and we will provide
강제
interpretation
출국에 대한
services
걱정
at
없이
the screening
안심하고
clinics.
검사를 받을 수
And we need to make sure that they will be able to go under the testings with no worries. And we will also monitor with the municipalities so that no one is left out. And we will work closely with the support centers in each of the local municipalities going forward. And we will also work closely with the municipalities to tackle the issues of quarantine for homeless people as well as these elderly who are living by themselves. And we will be having the testings if we see the need, and as we see a higher number of people, homelessness people who are taking up to the streets during summer and spring, we will intensify our crackdown. And due to their living conditions, most of them are reluctant to visit the screening centers even if they have symptoms, and thus they are located at the blind spots. And together with the tuberculosis nationwide system that we are carrying out right now, we will make sure that these people are subject to the coronavirus testings as well. We will have delicate care of these people so that we will have no further cluster infections here in the country. We will closely work with the municipalities. And in order to alleviate these blind spots, there are many people who are working on the front lines, including the local government officers. I extend my deepest thanks to all of them. Next is the resuming of the operations of some culture facilities. And starting from May 6th, after the holiday museum, the week, we will be opening a total of 24 museums, including the National Korean Museum, as well as the Art Museum as well. And these will be made sure that they will be in line with our everyday life quarantine measures, and we will be limiting the number of visitors at a certain time, and we will be preventing a large concentration of users at a given time through booking in advance via online. As for libraries, we will be resuming first the book return services as well as copy machines, and also we will be gradually expanding the scope of the services going forward. We will make sure that we will curb the outbreak going forward while enabling the public to utilize these services, and we need to make sure that we need to comply with the quarantine measures. And we ask the members of the public that if you are using these facilities, you need to get advice of the guidelines of the quarantine, and you need to have your body temperature screened before you visit these facilities. Next, we would like to mention a few words on the emergency relief fund that will be given out to the public from this month. As announced earlier, the emergency relief fund will be tailored first to those vulnerable class, and especially for the 210,000 households which will be receiving these funds in cash. and a
압류방지
certain
통장에는
percentage of
생계급여,
people in this
기초연금 등
household
개별 법에서
have a
특별히
seizure a bank
압류를
account,
금지하는
and we
압류가
will make
금지된
sure
금전만
that the
입금될 수
finances
있다는
of the
이러한
relief
제한점이
fund
있습니다.
will not be
이에 따라
seized.
정부는
And to this end,
긴급재난지원금을
the government
압류
will
금지
make
대상에
sure
포함시켜
that the
압류방지
emergency
통장을
relief
통하여
fund will be
지급하기로
given
결정하였습니다.
to these
이에
households
따라
through this
5월
special bank
4일부터
account.
취약계층에게
And starting from May
현금을
4th,
지급하기로
we
한
will be
계획이
giving
차질 없이 이행될 수
the
있을
cash
것으로
relief
생각합니다.
to these vulnerable class.
코로나19로 인한
Due to the COVID-19 outbreak, there are many companies going through difficulties in export, so we would like to mention a few words on this issue. And we will like to cooperate with the related ministries and related industries to make sure that we will be reducing any difficulties on site, especially for SMEs. Starting from the April 29th, we have stationed our special charters to move our logistics and transport them to cities like Jakarta and Chongqing in China. And we also have added more routes of vessels to the U.S. and these will be made for services as soon as possible. And starting late April, we will be also having about a special customs clearance for some 100,000 items, including the face mask filters and automobile parts. And we will also provide information on these guidelines to about 10,000 people on a daily basis. And going forward, we will also establish a special task force team so that we can swiftly respond to any difficulties that happen on site. And we will have a frequent opening of these special charter planes going forward, and we will have second and third rounds of them going forward. Until May 5th, we are having the social distancing campaign. Nevertheless, many people have chosen to go on their traveling schedules. Even though you are traveling, we ask all of you to comply strictly with the quarantine measures and please cooperate with the guidelines put forth by the municipal governments. Plus, if you have any symptoms after you return from your travel, if you have sneezing, coughing, or if you have a fever, please do not go outside and please take a good rest at home. And in order for us to really enjoy our holiday until May 5th and enjoy the so-called golden holiday, we need to remember that we need to protect the safety and the health of yourself, your family, and the community. And please remember that there are still many people who are working on the front lines to fight the COVID-19 even at this moment. And we would also like to ask all of the public and the businesses, and so that we can comply with the quarantine measures even though people are traveling, and please participate in our efforts. Thank you very much.
That was a live briefing from the South Korean health authorities updating us on the COVID-19 situation in the nation. We just heard that there were 9 additional cases of COVID-19, 8 of them imported. That brings the total to 10,774. And we heard that there was unfortunately another death, bringing the total death toll to 248. That concludes our coverage of this morning's briefing. We are going to be back though in just a little while at noon Korea time with our regular midday news. Bye for now.
Daily social distancing. The goal of daily social distancing is to prevent the spread of diseases while carrying out daily business and social activities. It consists